Morning came thin and grey, the kind that carries news without speaking. They rode in silence, the truth from the night before riding heavier than their saddles. Silas noticed the birds first. Gone. Sheriff Moore felt it too. Towns had a way of breathing when men were near. The land didn't. They found the tracks just past a dry creek. 3 horses, fresh. The boy dismounted, running a hand through the dust. They're following us. Silas shook his head. They're ahead. A mile later they found the body. Not killed. Broken. Tied to a post with a clean envelope pressed into his chest by a knife that hadn't been left behind. Moore opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a single line, written neat and calm. You took longer than expected. The boy looked up. He knows. Silas folded the paper. He always did. Moore's voice was hollow. Then Black Hollow wasn't the test. No, Silas said. This was. They mounted again, slower now, more deliberate. Somewhere beyond the hills, iron met earth. Rails being laid, land changing hands. The boy asked quietly, "What does a man like Harlan do when his story starts to fall apart?" Silas didn't answer right away. "He rewrites it," he said, "with witnesses. And behind them, far enough not to be seen, hooves moved in time. They stopped before sunset, not because they were tired, because the land offered no more places to hide." Silas checked the horizon. Moore checked their supplies. The boy checked himself. "I'm not riding any farther," he said. The words hung longer than expected. Moore turned. "You don't know what you're walking into." "I do now," the boy replied. "And that's why I can't keep following." Silas studied him. No anger, no fear. Just resolve, still rough around the edges. "What are you choosing?" Silas asked. The boy looked at the rifle, then laid it gently on the ground. "I'm choosing not to carry someone else's story anymore." Moore's voice cracked. "Then what will you carry?" The boy met his eyes. "My father's name." Silence answered him. "Harlan will come for you," Moore said. The boy nodded. "I know, but he won't expect me to walk toward him." Silas stepped closer. "Once you do this, there's no stepping out of it." The boy didn't look away. There never was. He mounted his horse, turning it toward the distant line where smoke hinted at rails and camps. "If I don't come back," he said, "you'll know why." Silas watched him ride until the dust settled. Moore exhaled. "We just sent him into the lion's mouth." Silas shook his head. "No," he said. "We watched him stop running, and for the first time in years, the story was no longer only Silas Crow's to carry." The road felt wider with one less rider. Silas and Moore rode without speaking, the space beside them saying more than words ever could. "He won't survive that world alone," Moore said at last. Silas didn't answer immediately. "He already has," he replied. They reached a small settlement by dusk. Too quiet, too ready. A notice was nailed crookedly to the post near the well. Moore read it first. His face hardened. Silas Crow, alive, wanted for questioning. No reward, just a name. "Harlan's changing tactics," Moore said. Silas tore the paper down. "He's preparing the ground." Inside the saloon, conversations stopped when Silas entered. Not fear, recognition. Someone had been here before them. "He's making sure I arrive before the truth does," Silas said. Moore looked around, realizing it too late. "Then the boy walking alone," Silas cut him off, "is the only one not following the story Harlan wrote." Outside, a hammer struck wood. Another notice went up. Silas didn't tear the second notice down. He read it, let it sit in his hands like a measurement. "You're not going to run?" Moore asked. Silas folded the paper carefully. "Running only proves the road belongs to him." They left town before sunrise, but not in haste. Silas chose the path this time, not the open road, but the one that cut behind it. By midday, they reached an abandoned relay station. Roof half collapsed, old ledgers scattered on the floor. Moore frowned. "Why here?" Silas knelt, brushing dust from a carved mark on the wall. "A crow, old, faded. This is where he learned our name," Silas said. Moore understood. "The Crow gang passed through." "No," Silas replied. "Harlan did." Silas searched until he found what he wanted. A ledger wedged beneath a beam, names, dates, land transfers marked, pending but never finalized. Moore's breath caught. These towns were cleared before the papers were legal. Silas nodded. And they all blamed someone else. That night Silas rode alone. He stopped at a small camp where men played cards too calmly for honest work. Silas didn't draw his gun. He spoke one name instead. Caleb Harlan. The cards stopped moving. He's paying late, Silas continued. And he's using your silence as credit. A man swallowed. Another looked away. Silas mounted again without waiting for answers. By morning rumors were already moving, slower than bullets, faster than truth. More listened as they rode. You're not hunting him, he said. Silas looked ahead. No, he replied. I'm removing the ground he stands on. Far away, rail hammers missed their rhythm. Something had shifted.